Recent evidence once again confirms that humans evolved from ancient fish-like ancestors. One species of these ancient fish eventually made their way onto land, gradually evolving into modern humans. Now, let's rewind time for a billion years. Into the past, imagine the entire history of evolution. In the beginning, Earth was nothing more than a molten ball of magma, bombarded by various asteroids. Volcanoes erupted constantly. It was a place completely unfit for life. But then, some asteroids and icy comets brought abundant water to Earth. More importantly, this moisture carried organic compounds. Around 3.5 billion years ago, the first cells were born in water, giving rise to life on Earth. Everything we know today was created from these primitive cells. Fast forward to 550 million years ago, from these early cells, more complex life forms began to emerge. This is a 7 centimeters long water bug, but this is what our ancestors roughly looked like at the time. 30 million years later, at around 520 million years ago, we enter what is known as the Cambrian period. Life exploded in the Cambrian seas, creating a vast diversity of marine creatures. In these brutal oceans, a primitive fish emerged, a distant ancestor, but this ancestor was not the apex predator. In fact, they were constantly hunted by a powerful predator, the top ruler of the Cambrian seas. Our ancestors were forced to flee, hiding just to survive. Now, let's jump forward another 150 million years. To about 370 million years ago, we evolved into a type of lobe-finned fish capable of swimming in shallow rivers and streams. However, we were still very weak compared to other sea creatures. This was the golden age of fish oceans, teemed with every type imaginable. Then came a second generation of ocean rulers, massive armored fish, known as dunk. Like before, our ancestors barely survived by hiding and feeding on scraps. Around 377 million years ago, Earth experienced a mass extinction event. Research suggests a lack of oxygen in water caused many fish species to die off. Some of our ancestors began to leap out of the water. By 365 million years ago, a game-changing adaptation occurred, the evolution of lungs. They now had both gills and lungs able to breathe in water and on land. This marked the beginning of a new experiment in life. One brave creature crawled out of the water and began a new chapter on land. By 340 million years ago, our ancestors had started adapting to terrestrial environments. By 279 million years ago, their form had changed again. Now they were land predators, but Earth was not safe for long. Around 250 million years ago, another mass extinction struck, this time wiping out 95% of all life on Earth. By 220 million years ago, during the Triassic period, our ancestors managed to survive that extinction. At this point, they had developed fur and became more mammal. But they weren't the only survivors. Reptiles also thrived and eventually evolved into the first dinosaurs. Compared to dinosaurs, our ancestors were still small and weak, constantly hiding to avoid becoming prey. Fast forward to 66 million years ago, the end of the Cretaceous period. Our ancestors had now evolved into small, rodent-like mammals. At the same time, dinosaurs dominated the Earth. Then, disaster struck. A giant asteroid crashed into Earth. In an instant, tsunamis, wildfires, and earthquakes spread across the globe. A dense layer of dust covered the sky, blocking sunlight. Plants could no longer photosynthesize and died en masse. Many dinosaurs starved or froze to death. Our tiny mammalian ancestors, on the other hand, hid underground or in hollow trees, surviving the catastrophe. With the dinosaurs gone, mammals seized their chance. They began to diversify rapidly. By 56 million years ago, a new version of our ancestors had emerged, primitive, tree-dwelling mammals. By 4.4 million years ago, the species Ardipithecus appeared, early human ancestors living in trees. Food shortages forced them to descend and search on the ground. By 3.2 million years ago, a species called Australopithecus afarensis learned to walk upright. But life was still tough. Africa was harsh and full of predators. Around 2.3 million years ago, Homo habilis appeared, the first human species capable of using tools. They learned to smash bones with stones to access the marrow, a key source of nutrition. This marked the beginning of the Stone Age. By 1.8 million years ago, Homo erectus emerged. These early humans could run long distances and hunt effectively. When lightning caused forest fires, their curiosity led them to discover how to use fire. Fire helped them stay warm, scare away wild animals, and made food easier to chew. This era saw their brain volume reach 1,000 milliliters, a significant leap in intelligence. Finally, around 200,000 years ago, Homo sapiens appeared, modern humans. By 120,000 years ago, a rival species emerged, the Neanderthals. Roughly 40,000 years ago, modern humans and Neanderthals encountered each other. They competed and, within 10,000 years, Neanderthals went extinct. Eventually, Homo sapiens spread across the globe. The full evolution of humans took nearly 500 million years. Today, humans stand at the top of the food chain, dominating the planet, but while our intelligence has brought us to the top, some humans are also harming the very world we inherited.